Well, I'm back. It's been a while and I've missed you, but I've got something to say, a couple of good points, and I'm wearing a smart suit, I've got my shirt and tie on, and I'm wearing sensible shoes. So I'm in business. So on this occasion, I want to refer to a blog that I did a few days ago, which is more to do with co-working. And I called it Co-working Stealth or Sledgehammer Disruptors. And really, what I mentioned in the article was I'm at the coalface, basically every day, day in, day out, 24/7. But many of my clients, those in conventional lease space, and even those who are in co-working or serviced or managed accommodation, haven't heard of WeWork. And WeWork are without doubt a co-working phenomenon. I've never seen anything quite like it. They are in fact the largest tenant of business space in London, and now they are owners as well. And it's also the same story in Manhattan. They're even bigger than JP Morgan in terms of how much space they have. And this is due in no small part to a fairly staggering £4 billion investment from the Japanese conglomerate SoftBank. So despite the fact that they have a market cap of perhaps 42 to 45 billion pounds, they are still exhibiting losses of over 1 billion pounds, certainly for the first 9 months of 2018. Now, what you may not know is that over the last 12 months, we've completed 18 London office deals, principally acquisitions on behalf of clients. And we've delivered about 70,000 square feet of new, bespoke business space to corporate occupiers, which is a good year for us. We do an awful lot of other stuff as well, but in terms of the nuts and bolts of what our business profile is all about, it's about office acquisition. And that's what tenant reps tend to do. And we're pretty active. We're very proud of that as well. But what surprised me personally, there was 23% of that total figure was from established clients moving from conventionally leased space, 5 and 10 year leases, to co-working, serviced or managed space, from literally 6 months to a year, maybe even 2 years. And they've moved this further forward, and it's a trend we've not seen before. We've grown accustomed to shorter leases. When I first came into the business a long time ago, 25-year leases, no breaks, and I've got the hair and the physique to show for it. Now, shorter leases, shorter terms with 3-year breaks, 5-year breaks are the norm, and that has allowed some of the co-working opportunities to flourish because they are competing. And WeWork are just one of the phenomena. They're an eponym, a bit like Kleenex, Hoover, Google even, if you like. And I've got clients of mine who are now considering coming over to the UK from the US, where 3 out of 4 of my new clients tend to come from. And they're all saying, well, maybe we'll just start off in a WeWork. And there's no harm in that. But there are a lot of cheaper, more sexy alternatives. A lot of my conventionally leased clients are saying, well, what's all this fuss about with WeWork and co-working? Is it a phenomenon? Is it here to stay? We read all sorts of horror stories about, is it a bubble? Is it a Ponzi scheme? What's going to happen to it? You know, are we going to find ourselves caught up in this? Well, it can't be a one-off. It can't be a flash in the pan, because some of our biggest property companies and real estate investment trusts are more than putting their foot and toe into the water. British Land, for example, Landsec are doing their own juggernaut turning, and they've also embraced the same form of co-working offering, which has its own branding. Contel, Spaces, Convene, Fora. These are now becoming much more established, and there is a phenomenal undercard of smaller businesses like Runway Eats, for example, who are just taking their 6th London-based co-working building and one in Bristol as well, and they're also looking in Manchester. So there are names that perhaps aren't necessarily synonymous with this side of the industry, but they are turning the whole thing around, and clients are now beginning to see the merit in beyond project space, beyond startup space, beyond overflow accommodation. And I've got clients out there this week alone who are looking at accommodation where they are undercutting the WeWork 10 grand a month phenomenon by half that amount. So there is life well beyond WeWork. Not that I have any issue with WeWork and the offering that they have, because their buildings are unbelievably cool. They are now building from the ground floor up, where landlords previously would develop a building, whether it's 50 or 100,000 square feet, and look to try and fill the gaps with co-working. Now, the co-working phenomenon, they're starting from the ground floor. This is their shop window, if you like. You walk past a restaurant, and what do they want? They want you in the window so that you can attract more people into the building. And that's exactly what some of the larger, more established landlords are looking for. So what's the big attraction? Well, yes, of course, it's leasing flexibility, and there's no harm in that. There are a variety of number of add-ons. We've got kitchens, we've got coffee bars, we've got terraces, we've got community space, and all of these will attract and retain and help flourish a business. It's all about talent retention and talent attraction. And locations like Shoreditch, even Victoria, which has been traditionally home to larger businesses. Google, in fact, started off in Victoria, in Belgrave House, and now look, 1 million square feet or so, rumoured to be taking in King's Cross. So, co-working is not a panacea, but I personally love what it's done to disrupt the sort of cosy landlords clubs that had tenants sort of rushing with a cap in hand and an enormous rental deposit just to get their foot in the door. And as far as I'm concerned, as a tenant rep, that's brilliant news for tenants and clients of mine. I suppose the reality of what we're saying here is the WeWorks of this world, who are now business and building owners, are now the new 21st century landlords. And it's down to people like me and the Levy Group to distinguish the differentials between traditional space and the merits of co-working, serviced or managed accommodation. And if you talk to me, you'll get an honest appraisal of how the business world is going, how my life as a traditional tenant representative is changing, with close on 25% of my business is now co-working and service space. So I'm in a position to represent and present the very best options I can to my clients so that they will retain their talent, they will keep them happy, they will keep them profitable and motivated, and above all, they will be the next generation moving forward. So come and talk to me about your office space needs, because it's important that we keep your talent happy, engaged, motivated and profitable. Thanks a lot.